Articulations. We're going to look at 3 different articulations, which are joints. These are all freely movable joints, synovial joints. The first one we're going to look at is the hip. Now, if you look at the handout, which you certainly should be doing, there are parts of the hip joint that you will not actually be able to see on this model because they are buried within the model, such as the head of the femur, which is underneath the connective tissue. On the head of the femur, there's the hole, the fovea capitis, which you can't see. Okay? But the fovea capitis, from that to the acetabulum, runs a ligament. The ligament is called the ligamentum teres, and on this model we've cut away the bone so you can see it. And this holds is an internal ligament that holds the head of the femur within the socket of the bone. Okay? Other parts of the bone, or things you need to remember, the names of the bones. This is your femur over here. Then we have the os coxa, which has 3 parts. The top part is the ilium. Then we have the pubis, right here, this pointed part, and the back is the ischium. So if you can identify those parts, you can name the 3 ligaments that run from the os coxa to the femur, and they're named after that. So if this is the ilium, this is the iliofemoral ligament. It goes from the ilium to the femur. Then in the front here we have the pubis. Here is the pubofemoral ligament going from the pubis to the femur. And then on this side we have the ischium, the ischium, and we have the ischiofemoral ligament. So iliofemoral, ischiofemoral, and pubofemoral in the front. Okay? Those are the ligaments of the hip. The next joint we're going to look at is your knee joint. Okay? Your knee joint has a few more words associated with it. All right, with your knee joint, terms that you have learned already, the condyles, where the 2 bones articulate. These are the condyles of the femur. We have the medial and the lateral condyle. This is your right knee. Then we have the condyles of the tibia. We have medial and lateral condyles. They're covered with the articulating cartilage. The number of ligaments in here, we have internal ligaments. The ligament that is found here, let me get this out of your way. This ligament here is the ACL, or anterior cruciate ligament. It's an internal ligament. When you turn the model around, in the back, we have the PCL, the posterior cruciate ligament. Okay. Also found interior in the joint, we have the meniscus. These are your meniscus, these round circular fibrocartilage pads. And you have a medial meniscus and a lateral meniscus. So use the terms medial and lateral frequently. We have 2 ligaments external on either side. These ligaments are together called collateral ligaments. This is your medial collateral ligament, and this is your lateral collateral ligament. Now, remembering the bones here, we have the femur, we have the tibia, and then we have the fibula. Fibula is always lateral. Fibula has an L in it, it's lateral. So we have our lateral collateral ligament. Then we have our patella. Patella is a sesamoid bone developing within the tendon. So we have coming from your bone to your bone is what's called a ligament, and this is called the patellar ligament. Now I'm talking about this top part. This is the patellar ligament. Okay. At the bottom here, it's going to a muscle. So it's going to go from bone to being part of a muscle. The bottom, below the patella, is the quadriceps tendon. The quadriceps is the large muscle in the front of your femur. Okay? So top, above the patella, patellar ligament, below is the quadriceps tendon. Okay? The last and final model that we're going to look at is your shoulder. Okay, unfortunately, our shoulder model has been a little bit damaged, so you have to be nice to this. It would go this way. Now the bones would be your humerus, which my hand is holding, your clavicle, and your scapula. And really the only things you can really truly see in here is the very nice glenoid humeral ligament. The glenoid cavity, remember, is where the head of the humerus will go. So it's going to go from the cavity to the humerus bone. So it's the glenoid humerus ligament, and it goes all the way around, okay, circling across it. Okay. Also found in both of the ball and socket joints is what's called a labrum. A labrum is going to take the joint and make it deeper. The labrum here would be buried underneath this tissue. However, and that is called the glenoid labrum. However, on the hip, which I didn't point out, but I will now, this is the labrum. It goes all the way around. It's a circular tissue that is going all the way around the joint, and that is the acetabular labrum. Labrum means lip. Now, there are other terms on the handout. There's types of movement. There's also a generic joint that is a picture in the book. Make sure you look at those too, because they are also fair game for any future lab tests.